You see, most people wait. They wait for signs. They wait for change. They wait for someone to save them. The truth is, July 2025 is not something you wait for. It is something you prepare for. And not outside, inside. July is not just another month. It is a mirror. It shows you who you truly are when the world begins to shift. If God were to speak, message wouldn't come from the clouds. It would come from your stillness, from that quiet voice inside you. That voice is already speaking lately, and it says July 2025 is your turning point. Not just for Christians, not just for Muslims, for anyone with a soul, anyone ready to wake up. The change that's coming is not going to knock on your door. It's already inside your home, inside your heart. The question is, are you listening, or are you still chasing distractions, arguments, opinions, identities? In July 2025, everything false will feel heavy, lies will no longer feel comfortable, masks will become unbearable. The version of you that you've built to please others will start to cry because it's not real. And you know it. This is why the shock will happen. Not outside, inside. You will wake up one morning and realize I've been living someone else's life, someone else's beliefs, someone else's idea of success, and it's not me. That's the moment. That's the real prophecy. That moment of silence where you see the truth for the first time. The pain isn't punishment. The discomfort isn't a curse. It's the soul waking up. You don't need to wait for a sign in the sky. The real sign is that voice in you that says something has to change. That's the message. That's what July 2025 is here to trigger. Yes, there will be global changes. Yes, people will talk about religious revelations, political chaos, spiritual awakenings. But the only thing that will matter is, did you change? Did you stop running from yourself? When everything outside begins to feel unstable, you must go within. You must ask yourself, what will happen? But who will I be when it does? God doesn't whisper in sacred texts only. God whispers in your decisions, in the way you treat others, in how honest you are when no one is watching. That's where July 2025 speaks. And yes, it will shake you because you can no longer pretend. You can no longer hide in religion. You can no longer hide behind being right. July will ask, are you real? Are you just repeating what others taught you? Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, atheist. It doesn't matter what label you wear. If your soul is asleep, you'll feel lost. If your ego is running your life, you'll suffer. If you are ready to be honest, ready to be still, ready to listen, you will rise. You will notice the shift in your energy. You will feel called to let go of toxic relationships, old routines, fake conversations, not because someone told you to, but because it no longer fits. July 2025 is the cosmic deadline, the time where you stop blaming the world and start taking full responsibility for your vibration, your discipline, your energy. Many people will miss it. They'll be waiting for fireworks, signs in the sky, miracles. But the real miracle is internal. Real miracle is someone finally becoming who they were born to be. Let me tell you what will happen. You will wake up one day in July and something will feel different. The distractions won't work. The excuses won't land, and the truth will feel louder. You'll feel exposed, not by the world, but by your own awareness. And then you'll be faced with choice. I return to the fake life I've always lived, or do I finally do the work? The hard work, the inner work. No one can do this for you. Not your religion, not your family, not your past. The voice that says, no, that is God. Moment you decide to stop lying to yourself, that is God. The feeling that July 2025 is not just another date, your date, that is God. Don't sleep through it. Don't wait for permission. Don't expect applause. This is the time to be brutally honest. This is the time to look in the mirror and ask, am I aligned with truth, or am I performing a role? And if the answer hurts, good. That pain is not destruction. It's purification. In July 2025, everything changes. not because the world forces you to, but because you're finally ready to stop pretending. This is the moment where you no longer search for answers. This is the moment where you become the answer. There is something very important you need to understand before July 2025 arrives. What is built on illusion will collapse. What is built on fear will be exposed. What is built to control will no longer work. This is not a punishment. This is the necessary destruction of everything that is false, everything that is weak, everything that keeps you asleep. You may have noticed this already. Systems that once looked strong are now shaking. Governments, institutions, even spiritual communities. Why? Because they were never built on truth. They were built on power, profit, performance, not presence, not peace, not purpose. And now, universe, or what some call God, is pulling the mask off, slowly, firmly, completely. July 2025 is not the beginning of this collapse. It is this exposure of it. It's when the cracks become impossible to hide, when the noise of the outer world becomes too loud to ignore. But here's the part you must remember. The collapse outside is only a reflection of the collapse inside. The mind, people fear external change because they haven't faced internal truth. You don't need to fear what's happening in the world. You need to fear the parts of yourself that are fake. The habits that keep you numb, the beliefs that are outdated, personality you were just to survive in a world that rewards performance over authenticity. In July 2025, it will become very clear. Structures that once made you feel safe, religion, identity, traditions will no longer feel enough. You will begin to feel disconnected from the labels you've worn all your life. This is the shock. This is the awakening. Go of the idea that religion will protect you from this. It won't. Not because religion is wrong, but because how you've used it is no longer aligned. You didn't use it to grow. You used it to hide. You used it to separate. You used it to stay in control. And July 2035 will show you exactly how that illusion breaks apart. You can no longer hold on to the past and expect to move forward. The old way of doing things, the lazy thinking, the inherited beliefs, the emotional immaturity will feel like a cage. That's not a sign that you've failed. It's a sign that you're growing. Collapse is not happening F to you. It's happening F for you. Everything fake in your life must go. And it won't ask for permission. It won't give you time to prepare. It will just fall. That relationship you're clinging to, even though it's toxic, gone. That job that pays well but drains your spirit, gone. That belief that you need to be someone you're not just to be accepted, gone. Why? Because July 2025 is a spiritual reset and you can't bring your old self into a new life. So what should you do? Don't resist. Don't fight to keep what's dead alive. Let go. This doesn't mean quit everything. It means be honest. Be still. Watch what no longer fits. Watch what feels heavy. Watch what drains you and ask, why am I still carrying this? If God were to speak, the voice would not tell you to worship louder. It would tell you to live more honestly. That's what July 2025 is demanding: radical honesty, even if it burns, even if it breaks you. Because what breaks makes space. If your identity was built on fear, it will fall. If your beliefs were handed down but never questioned, they will feel hollow. If your purpose is just to survive, July will shake that foundation. This is the deeper collapse, not in the banks, not in politics, but in you. The war is not between religions. It's between the part of you that wants to grow and the part of you that wants to stay safe. And July 2025 is the battleground. You must remember the collapse is not the end. It is the beginning. The house must fall so the temple can rise. If you feel lost during this time, it means the old map no longer works. Now you must learn to navigate with your soul. Wait for someone to guide you. Don't wait for your family to understand. Don't wait for your friends to support it. Walk forward anyway, because what's coming is not just for those who are religious. It's for those who are ready. So prepare not by reading more, not by posting more, but by becoming more silent, more aware, more honest, more free. If you are still holding on to your fake self, July will tear it away from you, not to punish you, but to have introduced you to the real you, one you buried under expectations, fear, and doubt. This is the time to clean your inner house, to sit with yourself, observe what rises when everything else falls. And if it hurts, let it hurt. Pain is truth leaving the body. Let the collapse happen. Let July 2025 come. And when it does, don't run. Stand still, watch everything fall, and smile, because now you are free. You've been searching everywhere, in books, in religious teachings, in YouTube videos, in people, in prophets. But the voice you've been searching for has always been inside you. That whisper you ignore, one that speaks in silence. That is where the truth lives. That is where the message is. And when July 2025 arrives, voice will no longer whisper. It will speak loudly. It will say enough. Enough running. Enough pretending. Enough waiting. People talk about divine messages as if they come from the sky, but truth does not come from outside. It rises from within. Sacred texts may guide you. The teachers may point you in the right direction. But in the end, you have to walk the path alone. And that path begins in silence. You won't find God in noise. You won't find clarity in chaos. You won't find growth in comfort. 2025 is the mirror. It will not give you answers. It will force you to stop asking the wrong questions. You ask, what will happen in July? A better question is, what is happening inside me right now? Because July 2025 is not about outer prophecy. It's about inner alignment. The world can change, but if you don't, nothing matters. The shock is not the world falling apart. The shock is finally realizing you've been ignoring your own soul. You already know what's wrong. You already feel the pull to change, but you wait for confirmation, for permission, for validation. And July will not give you any of that. It will give you one thing, only a choice. Return to your past or rise into your truth. The voice that says something is not right, oh, that is God. The restlessness you feel when you keep doing what no longer serves you, that is God. The emptiness you feel after chasing approval, that is God. But not the God of fear, not the God of guilt. This is the truth that lives in you. This is the divine self. In July 2025, millions will search for signs. Some will look to the sky. Some will look to social media. The real sign, the real message is your own discomfort, your own emotional friction, your own craving for something real. And you already have it, but it's buried under opinions, under identities, under the pain. So what do you need to do before July arrives? Be quiet, sit still, listen. That's all. And it will be the hardest thing you've ever done. Because the moment you stop distracting yourself, truth starts speaking, and it doesn't speak gently. It speaks with fire. It says, you are wasting time. You are not being honest. You are living below your potential. That voice is not there to shame you. It is there to wake you. You already know who you need to become. You already know what you need to leave behind. You already know what July 2025 is asking of you. But you've been negotiating, delaying, arguing with your own soul. There is no more time for that. When the shift comes, and it will come, only one thing will matter. Are you aligned with your inner truth? Are you still living someone else's version of life? And yes, religion will try to give you answers. Society will try to distract you. Your fear will try to pull you back. But if you've trained yourself to listen to the quiet voice inside, you will not be shaken. This is not about religion. This is about relationship with yourself, with your own truth, with your own knowing. You can no longer afford to lie to yourself. Not in July. Not anymore. The world is changing fast, and your inner world must lead that change. Let this be your practice each day before July. Sit in silence. Ask nothing. Expect nothing. Just listen. You will hear something. a direction, a calling, a warning. It may not be loud, but it will be real. And if you follow it, you will not be surprised by anything July brings, because the storm outside cannot touch the person who is rooted inside. That is the real teaching. That is what God said truly means. It means return to yourself. It means trust your knowing. It means now is the time, not when you're ready, not when others agree. Now, July 2025 is not your enemy, it is your mirror. And if you ignore it, you'll keep repeating the same cycles. But if you listen, you'll break free. So start now. Go inward, stay present, be honest. Because when July comes, everything that's false will fall away and what's left will be you. If you think July 2025 will confirm what you already believe, you are not ready. If you think it will prove that your religion is right and others are wrong, you've missed the point. July will not protect your ego. It will destroy it, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. You need to understand one truth clearly. This moment will challenge everything you hold on to too tightly, especially the things you were taught never to question. Your beliefs, your rituals, your identity as a Christian, as a Muslim, as anything. Light 2025 doesn't come to validate your label. It comes to test what's under it. Who are you without the title, without the script, without the fear? The most dangerous belief is the one that tells you not to look deeper. The belief that says, I already know everything I need to know. That belief is what keeps people asleep. And July will be the alarm clock. There's a reason why discomfort is growing, not just globally, but within you. It's because truth is trying to rise. And lies, even sacred ones, can't hold it back anymore. You can attend every religious gathering, recite every holy word, and still be completely disconnected from yourself. Why? Because belief without awareness is hollow. Ritual without presence is empty. You must prepare yourself for the collapse of false confidence. Many will feel betrayed. Betrayed by their religious institutions, by their spiritual leaders, by everything they trusted blindly. But this betrayal is not the end. It's the beginning of real faith. Because real faith is not built on answers. It's built on trust truth, even when that truth is uncomfortable. You will see people panic. They will argue harder, shout louder, defend their religion more fiercely. Not because they are strong, but because they are afraid that what they believed might not be the full truth. And in July 2025, that fear will rise and it will demand one thing: honesty. Honesty with yourself, not your community, not your teacher, not your ancestors, just you. When the moment comes, and it will come, you will have to choose cling to what you were told or listen to what you know deep down. Teachings of Islam, the teachings of Christianity, all point to one thing: purification of the heart, awareness, integrity, discipline, humility. But somewhere along the way, the practice turned into performance. The wisdom turned into memorization. The inner path became a competition for who's holier, louder, more obedient. That's what will break in July. The performance, the mask, and that's not bad. That's grace, because this collapse will lead you back to the essence of it all, back to love, back to awareness, back to silence, the space where God actually speaks, not in noise, not in politics, not in fear. The shock will not be that something changes. Shock will be that you knew all along, but you ignored it. You felt the contradictions. You noticed the emptiness. But you kept going. Why? Because it was safe. Because you didn't want to disappoint your family. Because you didn't want to be alone. But July doesn't care about comfort. It cares about clarity, and it will strip everything that is not real. This doesn't mean you have to reject your faith. It means you have to purify it. Let it breathe again. Let it come alive in your actions, not just your arguments. Let it soften you, not harden you. If you are Muslim, ask yourself, do I pray because it connects me to the divine, or because I'm afraid not to? If you are Christian, ask yourself, do I follow Christ's path of compassion, or do I just repeat his name to feel safe? July 2025, will make these questions unavoidable. And when they come, don't panic. Don't run. Sit with them. Feel them. Let them break the surface of your mind, because that's where your real strength is born. This is not a time for division. It is a time for depth, and depth requires courage. You will have to go beyond the rules, beyond the noise, into the silence where your soul has been waiting. That's where you'll find what's true. Not what's familiar, not what's comfortable, what's true. And you'll know you're on the right path when it no longer feels like proving yourself, but simply of being yourself. No more pretending, no more spiritual ego, just truth. July 2025 will not destroy religion. It will destroy the illusion of religion. What's left will be sacred. What's left will be real. So don't brace for destruction. Prepare for awakening. Prepare to let go of anything that keeps you from fully living what you say you believe, because that is the only religion that matters now. Not what you call yourself, but who you have choose to become when truth finally knocks on your door. You were born without a label. You didn't come into this world as Christian or Muslim or anything else. You were just present, alive, aware. And then the world began to teach you names, ideas, beliefs, rules. And you started building an identity out of them. Not because you were wrong, but because you were young, because you were searching for belonging. But now comes the shift. Now comes July 2025. And July will ask you a question that shakes everything. Who are you without the label? Who are you when the traditions are silent? Are you when the only voice left is your own? The truth is simple. Awakening has no religion. Truth has no flag. Soul does not care what you call yourself. It only cares about how you live. People will argue over scripture, over language, over history. That's not awakening. That's just noise. The real work doesn't happen in debates. It happens in silence, in your breath, in your choices. When July 2025 arrives, something deep inside you will stir. You feel it. You might not be able to explain it. It will feel like pressure, like a calling, like a voice that says, now is the time. And many will ignore it. They'll go back to routine. They'll say, I'm already saved, or I already know the truth. But what they don't realize is that awakening is not something you achieve once. It is something you live again and again. There are Muslims who are awake. There are Christians who are asleep. There are atheists more in tune with their soul than someone who prays 5 times a day. Because awakening is not about outer form. It is about inner fire. In July, that fire will rise. It will burn through your excuses. It will expose your distractions. It will light up every part of your life that is fake. And you'll have a choice: run from the fire or walk through it. Walk through the questions. Walk through the doubt. Walk through the discomfort of realizing that maybe, just maybe, you've been following rules, but not truth. That's not weakness. That's courage. That's what awakening demands. You see, real awakening is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. It's a moment where you finally tell yourself the truth. I'm not being honest. I'm pretending to be something I'm not. I've been hiding behind my religion instead of living it. And if you feel that truth rising in you, fight it. Don't silence it. That voice, that is God. That is your higher self. That is the divine message of July 2025. This is not about leaving religion. This is about finding the essence of it, stripping away the layers of fear, guilt, performance, and returning to presence. What good is belief if it doesn't make you kind? What good is prayer if you treat people with hate? What good is a label if it only makes you feel superior? July will not reward performance. It will reward presence. Are you aware? Honest? Are you disciplined enough to do the hard work of changing your own habits, thoughts, reactions? If the answer is no, July will feel heavy. If the answer is yes, July will feel like a breakthrough. You don't need to convert. You don't need to debate. You need to wake up. That's it. So stop looking at others. Stop comparing. Stop judging. This moment is not about them. It's about you. Do you live by truth or by tradition? Do you seek comfort or do you seek growth? Do you follow rules or do you follow consciousness? That's the real religion. Consciousness, awareness, integrity, love. All the teachings point there, but very few follow through because it's easier to belong than it is to be real. But July won't let you stay comfortable. Energy of this shift is not gentle. It breaks what's fake. It shakes what's shallow. It's time. Don't ask what religion someone follows. Ask how deeply they listen to themselves. Don't ask who's right. Ask who's awake. This isn't about proving your faith. It's about embodying it quietly, powerfully, every day. Before July 2025 comes, look in the mirror, look into your habits, look into your patterns, and ask, is this real? Is this just inherited? Because what is not real will not survive this shift. But what is rooted in truth will rise stronger, clearer, lighter. Awakening is not a reward, it is a responsibility. You must choose it, live it, become it. And that choice is now. There is something very important you must understand before July 2025. The greatest storm you will face is not outside, it is inside you. The real battle is not political, it's not global, it's personal. It's the war between the other part of you that wants to grow and the part of you that wants to stay comfortable. Most people prepare for chaos in the world, but they ignore the chaos in their mind. They prepare for economic collapse, but not the collapse of their excuses. They prepare for food shortages, but not for the shortage of self-awareness. And that's why July 2025 will shock them, because the outer world is just a mirror. The real earthquake happens inside. The moment you wake up and realize that the old version of you cannot survive what's coming, that's the real shift, not the headlines, not the prophecies, not what others are saying. The moment of awakening is when you see clearly, I can no longer live like this. I can no longer lie to myself. I can no longer avoid the discipline I need. In July, life will not ask you if you're ready. It will show you if you are. And if you're not grounded, if you're not centered, if you're still addicted to distraction, blame, and ego, you'll feel lost. But if you've been preparing internally, then everything that looks like a storm will actually be a breakthrough. So how do you prepare? You train yourself to be still. You train yourself to feel discomfort without reacting. You train yourself to observe your own patterns. You train yourself to detach from what doesn't serve you. This is not about religion. It's not about belief. It's about discipline. Without discipline, you will not survive the shift of July 2025. Not because life is cruel, but because life is honest. It reflects you. What's happening outside is nothing more than a reaction to what's broken inside humanity. And you are a part of that. You don't escape the energy. You become responsible for the energy you bring into this world. Storm is not the enemy. The storm is the test of your presence, the test of your clarity, the test of whether or not you've been listening to your own soul. Many people will panic. They'll look for answers. They'll chase predictions. But none of that matters if you haven't done the internal work. You can watch 100 spiritual videos, but if you still can't sit with your own thoughts for 5 minutes, you're not ready. Preparation is not what you say. It's what you practice. Are you practicing awareness, or are you still running from it? Are you practicing silence, or are you addicted to noise? Are you practicing responsibility, or are you still blaming the past, the world, your parents, your religion? July 2025, the moment will come. You will feel the pressure. You will feel the intensity, and then the voice will come. The voice that says, no, we see who you really are. Not when it's easy, not when everything is going well, but when the old world starts falling. That's the moment of truth. If you are full of fear, the moment will break you. If you are full of truth, the moment will build you. Don't prepare by collecting more opinions. Prepare by shedding what's false. Your false identity, your false strength, your false peace, all of it has to go. Because the inner storm is what clears the way. It shakes your lies. It exposes your attachments. It reveals your shadows. And if you resist it, you'll suffer. But if you welcome it, you'll rise. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be real. You don't need to know everything. You need to be honest. You don't need to pretend to be spiritual. You need to practice presence. In July 2025, the pressure will increase, not because life is cruel, but because it's time. You've had years of warnings. You've had signs. You've had dreams. And now the moment comes when all of it is tested. Do you choose to stay asleep or finally wake up? Do you choose to hold on to fear or release it through action? Do you keep living in reaction or step into conscious responsibility? There will be no middle ground anymore. No more hiding behind your identity. No more pretending. You will either rise with truth, fall with illusion. So prepare now. Get quiet, get real, get strong. Because when the storm comes, and it will come, you don't need to be loud. You need to be rooted, and that rooting only comes from doing the inner work. No shortcuts, no more delays, no more lies. Just you facing yourself, owning your life. That is the preparation. That is the awakening. That is what July 2025 demands. And if you accept that challenge, you won't fear the storm. You'll become the calm inside it.